Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Two more episodes of Baccano here to be watched. Episodes 10 and 11. Very, very excited. Closing in on, I guess, the end of the first season. Not that there's more, but you know what I mean. Again, next week we'll be doing 12 and 13. That kind of finishes out, you know, the rest of the proper content, the way I understand it. And then there's some OVAs. I do not know what form they take. We're going to find that out. I'm going to endeavor to do all three on the same day, but who knows? You guys will let me know if they're kind of big picture stuff that I need to really be, you know, having my head screwed on for and whatnot. Anyway, just some light plans, a little bit of a setup before we jump into the YouTube comment here from Glyke. Going into the episode 9 stuff around the rail tracer reveal and it being very, very good. It's a memorable trick, as we say here. Even Glyke here for getting the Claire name element of it. So again, Claire is that name that's said first up, and then kind of Fiero says Vino, and then it's like, okay, well, Claire's Vino, sure. And then the whole time I'm like, who the fuck is Claire? Who's Claire? Who's Claire? And then, lo and behold, Claire's the rail tracer, who is also, you know, associated with the Gandors. I'm sure we're going to go into that in a little bit more detail as we continue with that character. And in retrospect, it is kind of this perfect kind of like puzzle piece to put in place, right? Because we have kind of the Lemurs and then Lads people, and they're kind of the bad people on the train at the moment. They're the kind of groups that are, what's the word, like a danger. They're the threats, and then you have this third unforeseen threat because they both don't know about what happened in that train cut, and this is the perfect explanation for what happened in that train cut, right? It's like before that point, it was like, yeah, it's the rail tracer, but was it? Who even is the rail tracer? And then, lo and behold, it just perfectly makes sense what they did with it. I talk about the ED and kind of hiding this reveal in plain sight, hiding that, you know, somebody may be, you know, a little bit more important than they're leading on. It has also been said to me I should look in the opening, so we're going to be doing that when we watch through kind of the episode 10 here. Have a look at that opening and see what we can see. I seem to remember it kind of stops on a character for a little bit. I was a bit confused if that was like Nicholas. I guess it's Vino now. We're gonna check and have a look. But yeah, that does it for the YouTube comment there here today. Let's shout out the Patreon patrons, and yeah, we'll jump into episode 10. As always, I have a Patreon. It is linked in the description below. $6 a month gets you episodes 1 week early, if that's something that interests you, as well as early stuff for, well, not City anymore. I don't know what it's going to be at this juncture, but also more Mushi-Shi. If you're into any of that, then the Patreon is there and ready for you. Very big thanks to AJ, Akamansa, Bananarama Hamadama-sama, Bisa, Capella, Choba Ribby, Dapper Dwarf, Ed, Fancy Question Mark, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Glyke, Hans Peter, Ika, Yako Yavanen, Chami Boo, Choran, Kasogtha, Clem, Kot Begemot, Lick H, Lou, Master Detective, Mickey Babbers, Miru, Mistake L. Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nailu, Parnek, Pencil Shop 333, Pointed Snowdrop, Ronled B&K, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Waifu Overdose, Without a Net, Kelvin, Binshi, Aidan O'Brien, Fleur Nightingale, Gus N, Nosta, and Aussie. Thank you everybody for the support. I love the support. And yeah, Baccano, it's a lot going on. It's a lot to set up. I guess the most pertinent stuff would be the reveals around the rail tracer. It is Claire Vino Stanfield, I believe is the last name there, who is the, not the fourth child, but kind of like adoptive, maybe kind of fourth child of the Gandor family. I believe the vibe is that he's a circus performer and has also covered himself in a bunch of blood and crimson and stuff. It's also being kind of told to us through this character called Rachel, who is an employee of the Daily Days. That's the lady in the army fatigues that, you know, was kind of around. And this is in the wake of that. She gets out and is now talking to the Daily Days. That's how we're learning this information. If I had to guess where we're going next, I think something more about the whole senator side of things would be welcome. We kind of touch on it in episode 9. There's a scene there with the Lemurs kind of talking to the wife there, so maybe we'll see what happens there. We've also got Jacuzzi trying to be the hero, and then kind of Isaac and Maria trying to inspire as many people as possible. There's obviously the other stuff going on with Dallas as well, kind of in the previous timeline, if that makes any sense, where he's now immortal and is working for Cortez, is kind of being blackmailed, but yeah, again, it's a lot to set up. I'm sure I'll pick up on some more stuff as we continue. That being said, it has been a pretty easy show to pick up stuff too. Like sometimes you'd be taking a week break, you'd be like a little bit more confused. I'm pretty okay with it at the moment. Still, I might be missing stuff, probably am, but I feel pretty comfortable for a show that is, was initially not very comfortable, let's say that. But either way, I'm rambling. We need to jump in here to episode 10. Let me bring it up right now. Let's go. Radio, episode 10, up there, ready to go. 24 minutes and 41 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have the DVD version, which is similar to MTBB, all these words. Yeah, so get that version if you want that version to sync up with mine. If not, there's a picture-in-picture version in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Baccano, we're back. We're flipping coins. So let me tell you where I think he is. That being Vino. So Isaac and Miri, obviously. I don't think that's him. Not a lot of Mize in the show either, really. Or Keith or Burger or any of the Gandors other than Luck. And even then, not very much. So Quartes, sure. Ennis, sure. Soon. There. Does he not pass it off to a man that looks a lot like Nicholas, though? Maybe he's just a blonde guy. Another thing we're going to need to sort out, and this is more just a personal thing for me. Hang on. Important stuff. Oh yeah, we're doing Seslaw. I should explain that too. Somebody talked about this and they're exactly right. Somebody on the train must have used Seslaw's real name, which would imply that they're also immortal. Or no, Seslaw knew somebody's name, that would imply they're immortal. It's something to do with that line there, obviously. That's what we're going to go into now. Anyway, more to the point, it's fucking hot in here, and it's only October, and it's going to get hotter. So I'm going to need to figure something out. Okay, lighting. It's the senator guy, I believe. Huey? Newfoundland? Canada? Damn, you got here pretty quick then. This is interesting. He got your ass. He got you immediately. Monster. He's actually cool. Their plan will fall through. Shane. I'm not like y'all. It's almost like she just had that vision. Maybe not exactly, but she's become woke to something. That's a very... We'll come back to that scene, obviously. There's quite a bit there. I do like the doves. The doves were a cool touch. It's a really interesting title. And this was our lead-in last week. Spare change. Did we see this scene before? That's ringing a bell. What's his end game? I like this shot too. Show's got sauce, for sure. Use him as a scapegoat, kinda. This is where he gets shot in the head. He's Thing! Of course, this works perfectly for Lad. And that we've seen before. Gotcha. Where's this? Gotcha. Yeah, it's this fucking guy. Inspector Gadget, of course. And she's just legging it? Holy. Eve's cool. Maybe not so cool. So does that mean Inspector Gadget works for... We like this guy. Thank you, Elan. Yeah, we're the ones that set you up. I know a little bit. Mafia. What did she say? It was funny. We're jumping all over the place. It's Gotham City? Okay, so we're back here. Gotcha. And it's not even that bad of a guess. Of course, 100%. Whatever you say, sure. I'm gonna go get shot. That's gotta happen soon. So is that why they're... Yeah. At that restaurant. Yeah, he sucked his soul? Are you an idiot? Yes. The answer is yes. I don't think they're going to be scared of death, really. So, do they even realize it was the same people from before? Perfect. Wonderful. Fantastic. Brilliant. 10 out of 10. He's trying to be some fucking hero show dork. Easy. Never in doubt. So this is how these two... yeah, okay, cool. What, you didn't recognize him? Alright, question. Does Vino see this? Gotcha. So that's your MO. Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck? Okay, so he did say. Um, okay, so it is an immortal to immortal thing. You can't lie about your name. What is happening? Yeah, who the fuck are you? Oh yeah, you're one of the Gandors. I remember. You were killing somebody. And you're Dio Brando. Indeed. Elan's great at the back there. Oh, oh, that's probably bad news then. Can you stop interrupting? Oh, we're gonna follow Nice now because we saw this obviously. 10 years. I thought he was like 20. Yeah, right. I was sorry, I wasn't reading the dialogue. There was something. Anyway. Yeah. It's the lad thing that he was talking about before. Very, very smart. It makes perfect sense for Lad to kill him there. Yeah. If Lad ever sees him again, he's gonna flip. Okay. Shanae. This is actually fucking hype. Hang on. I do love a train fight. Gotcha. Okay. Motivations. Interesting. She's not going to respond, man. This is fucking cool. Ah, he's the best. But what's she gonna do? Did she reflect the bullet? How the fuck? How the fuck is she doing that? Ooh. Now, is he still on the train? Who the fuck are you? Black suit? Black suit. That was a weird transition, too. I'm different. Technically inaccurate. Why does she keep throwing? Oh, is this part of the plan? Give me a big burger. Yeah. I guess I never really considered how Luck was immortal too. Did we ever find that out? And that's where we get shot. And then this is like, you guys are fucking morons. Is she a nun? She does not pull off a nun at all. You're just casing the place. I don't think they bargained for getting shot. Are they morons? They're like puppies. I'm worried about her. What about the waitress? Oh, instantly recognized. That's funny. A lot of things are coming together there. We must remember that Fira wanted to find Ennis as well for the little, sorry, microphone, for the little like cuffling or whatever it was. So I believe that just proves that Isaac took a little swig. That means Miria took a little swig of the stuff. It's a pretty fun way for them to be immortal. I guess, okay, this is my theory about, like, Luck being immortal. Is, like, we have, like, half the formula, right? Because it was Miser's brother. So maybe he gave Luck half it? Yeah. I'll need to go back and investigate. My understanding is that Luck wouldn't be immortal, he would be like unkillable immortal. Like, he's not ageless is the point. Because obviously Luck wasn't on the ship, Advanta, or whatever it was called. I kind of want to stop and just look at that one, but I can't, timing-wise. Just though I want to affirm some things before I go on, but we're gonna march forward ahead. I guess affirmations will be left for next episode, and we'll pause there too. And yeah, we'll jump right into the next upload. The next episode. Let's do that. Radio episode 11 up there, ready to go. Same old. 24 minutes and 47 seconds in this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. Picture in picture. Let's give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm recording too. Lots to say. It was an episode and a half of reveals. Seslor seems to really covet this immortality stuff. I wanted to unpack that a little bit too. Like, I'm willing and able to sacrifice everybody on this train just so I can figure out who the immortal is. Because they potentially, you know... I guess being immortal would give you, like, the ultimate fear of death. Because it's, like, everything being taken away. It's now your, like, you know, unique identifying factor being taken away too. Some of the fun stuff. We must remember that, Huey was talking with the devil. Remember that? And now Huey seems pretty based. He seems to, you know, just want to use immortality to further his own means and stuff. Or, not his own means. I don't know. He seems to be cognizant of other people's greed around his ability. And wants the best for his daughter. And there was some kind of devil deal there too. I wanted to talk about that too. Thank you, show. So yeah, again, they must have taken a sip. Does Ennis recognize Miser there too? Probably. What's happening? It's a very busy show, isn't it? $19.30. Okay, back at the restaurant. True. It's chill. So Fury doesn't know yet. Alright, I trust you. And now you're like, I know her. Gotcha. She's been persuaded by the nature of human kindness. Remains silent in the face of two mysterious people. So yeah, they're looking to take her out at any time. So I think there was a line earlier that was like, oh, tonight's going to be her last night alive or something. Now that makes a bit more sense. Okay, lad's just killing them all. Timid looking. Okay, dude. Where's the rail tracer to humble you? You didn't even run away, kinda. And he'll squeal. Gotcha. The rail tracer? Hello. Vino? He's gonna be like, who the fuck are you? You revived, little bro. That act ain't working on me. His eyes look crazy right now. Yeah, kill that kid. Fuck him. This is the Rail Tracer's favorite move. This musical track always cracks me up too. Just whatever keys, just hit them. You learned a lot of information very quickly. Oh, yeah, okay, great, wonderful. That's my shit. I love Lad. Did he tell you that I don't talk? The faces there are really cool. Do tell. I mean, he's also kind of like my dad. Oh. Did she get in the water? Or did she's still holding on or something? Yeah, okay. Because we know her endpoint's in the water. This is cool, but this is like fucking Terminator shit. How? I guess he just doesn't know. Three badasses. We'll see what happens there. Oh. Hello. It's been a long time. Let me drink this Ribena. Oh, Misa has the full knowledge. I'm a moron. Okay. That makes sense now. Okay. I forgot that he had the full knowledge. That was the whole thing. Not that we're counting. It's not going to do anything. Poor waitress. She's had a big day. Do you think she got paid extra or overtime or? I told you to fuck off. Okay, he's cool. Alright. Sucks to be those guys. Alright, yeah. Please continue this. I can't speak. How do I... She's trying to communicate it. Okay. Think of me as some kind of rail tracer. I wouldn't fuck with this guy. The rail tracertron. Okay, come on. Alright, then I'll spare you. I'm the moral murderer. One of the good ones. I don't kill kids, correct? What? Yo, he's kind of cool. You're right. Okay, get little broad. Sick Iowa. What is happening? Pardon? Vine booms? It's a little bit like a vine boom. Alright, and now we're back here. Gotcha. It's an interesting thought process, sure. What? Correct. I'm a homunculus? So then you want to spread that to everybody, and then you can get anybody. It's very complicated. Yeah. Holy fuck. You must remember I'm immortal, though. Oh, it's not there? Yeah, I didn't choose to be. Are you sure? Pretty. Settle down. Okay, Dallas is here? Oh yeah, of course. They want to get back. They want to kill Firo. I think you got him. Yeah, but he's gonna come back to life, brother. See, it's pretty cool. You could, if you wanted to. Okay, dude, settle down. Who the fuck? Oh, it's that cunt. I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fermit. Fermit the Frog. I haven't, no. No, still hasn't happened to me, no. I really don't. Not really. Why are they having an... I was going to say having an edge off, but that's something else. They're being edgy. Yum. Okay, dude. Your money or your life. Okay, you're back. Great. It's the most chaotic train ride of all time. Oh, you're here. Everybody's fucking here. Sure. Yeah, this guy plays the game a bit better. Oh. Why did Don Bartolo Runarata ever think that was going to work? Join me and we'll rule the galaxy together. No, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, I think we've kind of come. Start of the show was very much like, holy fuck, there's so much shit going on. You kind of calm down a little bit. You kind of get a grip of what's going on and who's who and what's what. I think we're ramping back up again a little bit. This was a pretty confusing session. We're jumping all over the place. You need to be on your shit. And I wasn't totally on my shit, so I'm looking forward to the rewatch where we'll dissect some stuff a little bit deeper. You just gotta remember, like, certain things. Certain things become very important. Like, Lad's motivation is big important, for sure. Like, that's an integral scene. As well as now, the kind of ethics of the rail trace, so the ethics of Vino are very interesting too. He's kind of an edgelord too. I kind of like that. I guess we knew that he's like, call me the rail tracer to Luck and the gang back in the day. I remember. Okay, who's next? Firo. Alright, seems like it's coming to a head on this train. For sure. Very short preview, too. I thought I had a little bit more time there. But, you'll probably see me tomorrow morning, I'm gonna imagine, for a little bit of analysis on those 2 episodes. Please look forward to it. I will. I'm gonna hardly sleep, containing my excitement. And we're back. It's the next morning. 2 more episodes of Baccano in the books. Very, very good again, albeit I kind of ended up a little bit more confused than I had been previous sessions. Again, they kind of threw it at you pretty quickly. We're jumping back around a lot. And as I said yesterday, I feel like we're squarely back in the areas where we were early in the show, where I was a little bit confused as to what's going on and needed to just kind of pause for a moment and just bring us up to speed with how certain things are operating and whatnot. These are just the things that I had off the top of my head to note down and should alleviate me speculating about it in the analysis segment here in a moment. This is what I believe to be the truth here at this time, and why I was confused, I guess. So first things first, how does the immortality power work? Cool. 200 years ago, Devil shows up, right? I'm calling him the Devil, shorthand, whatever, who cares? Everybody on the Avernus, whatever the shit was called, is immortal. They have both. They are eternally youthful, and they're invulnerable to damage, right? The knowledge of this power and how to reproduce this power is only given to Miser. Miser above everybody else, right? Because he was the head alchemist guy. Again, themes of the show, Quartez doesn't like one person having power over him, doesn't like one person being in that better position. It's all, again, that subtext stuff in the show about greed. Greed's a big element. There's lots of thieves and mob stuff and whatnot. So he wants that power back. He wants what Miser has. Luckily for him, he has the ability to do so. Every single person, again, on that ship that has both powers has the ability to suck souls, right? And when you suck a soul, you gain their knowledge too. Obviously, Quartez wants to do that to Miser, but by that same token, Miser can also do that to Quartez. But Miser chooses not to use that ability for moral reasons. He has a bit more of a code of ethics, which is another thing in the show, people's kind of conflicting codes of ethics and whatnot. Some interesting stuff there with I guess, Lad and the Rail Tracer and Shanae and stuff. That was a good scene in that regard. Cool. The things happen on the ship that happens. Huey goes off in his direction. Quartez goes off in that direction. Miser goes off in that direction. Cool. Says is there too. Whatever. Who cares? Actually, no. Before we do that, it is crucial that Quartez gets half the knowledge because he kills Greto, the brother. I believe that's his name. Miser's brother. Again, using his suckage powers. There's also that lady. I don't know if she's ever coming back as well. White-haired lady. Anyway, now we skip ahead. We have, like, Quartez essentially has a cult of followers who are like, yeah, we're like kind of half immortal, but we also want what you have, Quartez, where you don't age. We're invulnerable, that's fine, but can we reverse engineer the better formula? Now, to my knowledge, the stuff in the wine bottles is only invulnerability. It is not eternal youth. Because, again, why would he be after Miser if he already just reverse engineered the full power? So again, he found like a really good version of the invulnerability stuff, and it's in those bottles that, again, kind of Isaac has a sip and whatnot. And again, that is motivating him still chasing down Miser now and seeing an in with Dallas into getting to Miser and getting the bottles back and the everything, right? All we really need to care about there is that Quartez really wants the bottles. Sure. Now, we must keep in mind that we know for a fact that Luck Gandor and Firo are at least invulnerable in 1931. So, did they get powers shared with them from Miser earlier than 1930, or do they drink now? It is heavily implied that Isaac took a swig, considering there was a bullet that should have went straight through his head, and that Miria was convinced that he was dead. It heavily implies that he took a sip in 1930. I guess we'll know for sure if they end up in some more trouble on the Flying Pussyfoot or not, but yeah. Things to consider there. I'm still a little bit up in the air about what happens to when and who and how they get immortal and stuff. But yeah, we kind of need to move on from this point. That was a bit more of a can of worms than I was kind of, betting on, I guess. Next up, we have Shanae, we have Huey, we have the Lemurs and their deal. Cool. Huey, he's like contrasted with the devil all the way back at the start of the timeline, right? Like he's, above it all, just kind of watching, very pre-planned, has a really good grasp on things immediately. Now this is where I get a little bit hazy. I believe there's some stuff where very early on in Shanae and Huey's kind of a relationship there, as father and daughter, there's a deal made whereby I'm going to share forbidden knowledge with Shanae, but it comes with almost like kind of the devil deal that she can't speak or ever share that knowledge. So again, I feel like she's kind of tapped into Huey's worldview because of that, if that makes any sense. So Huey's kind of really taken on this cult-like figure, right? He's like the figurehead. Shanae's almost the only one that's like for real in it and like super with it and into him, and obviously we're playing off her being a daughter and him being a god, and you know what father says is law, and being super devoted and stuff, right? The Lemurs, they're just kind of like, I don't know, lackeys essentially. They like what Huey's selling, so they'll follow him up until it benefits them, and then they're gonna leave him basically, right? And Huey can kind of see through that, and you know that's why they're not quite as devoted. So that's kind of their deal. Obviously, we're reflecting that with Quartez, Ennis, and their whole gang, right? So we have Quartez, another immortal guy, stands up above the rest of humanity, has a daughter that kind of essentially does whatever he says and like follows without question and stuff, and then have his whole gang that may not be as personally involved or as motivated, and again only really want it for selfish means of, you know, immortality and whatnot. I'm seeing that kind of Shanae's character arc will maybe follow Annis's a little bit, and gaining her own freedom, whatever that may be, away from even Huey. Even again, it's shown to be a little bit more positive. Huey seems to be a bit of a better bloke than Quartez, you would think. Again, he's got his own problems too, obviously, but yeah, I'm seeing they mirror each other pretty obviously, I think. They can also communicate almost like telepathically, it feels like, such is the devotion there. She is the one kind of black bird amongst the rest of the doves, which is some fun kind of flippage. You know, normally you'd want to be the white bird, the biblically, you know, preferred bit of symbolism there, but no, she's the opposite, which is, again, a little bit fun with the devil stuff we have going on too. So yeah, that's all very well done still. Seslor is still a mystery to me. For mostly this, is there actually a bomb? I don't think there's actually a bomb. I think he's just threatening that there is a bomb. He knows that there's an immortal on the train because of the name thing. So this is something we established again back on the ship. If an immortal ever meets an immortal, you cannot lie about your name. And I'm imagining this is like pure immortal, like both eternal youth and invulnerability immortals. Therefore, there must be another person on the train who is immortal. Well, I mean, unless it isn't both, and then obviously Isaac would be immortal, and maybe even Miria. Is that it? Is that the answer? Am I missing the forest of the trees there? Because again, it's 1931. We know that, again, Isaac got shot in the head in 1930 and is now fine. So, I don't know. Probably, maybe. There might be some bigger stuff there where it's an actual, you know, back in the day immortal. Because again, why would Seslor be scared of somebody that's only invulnerable? Because they don't have the soul suckage power. Because, again, Seslor is very fun because he's a character that's obviously a child and is, but like isn't mentally, like that's the whole thing. So like he really covets this eternal youth stuff like a lot. Like he just wants to play it as safe as possible. It's almost his only identifying factor as like a human is this stuff, right? Is that he's kind of better. So he wants to attain that at all costs. If not, it could all go to waste. The same thing is like, I don't know, if I had like $1 billion and was like way richer than everybody, I would almost like not want to lose their money the most, like all of it the most, because it's my unique identifying factor now. Like it or not, it's my personality. So that's kind of Seslor's thing. Also, he got tortured by old mate, the scary guy with no eyes. What was his name? Fucking Thermit? Which is weird because he seemed pretty chill back in the day. So I don't know what happened there. He just started fucking with Seslor. I don't know what happened there, but sure. I guess we'll see a little bit later on. And this last one here, this is a bit more of just like a criticism and us being probably a little bit overly convoluted. So let me break down Eve for you and her movements and the, I guess, Runarada's opinion of that. So Eve leaves Gustavo, goes to the Daily Days. The Daily Days then takes her to go and see Luck Gandor. The Runaradas are under the understanding that Luck Gandor were the ones that stole Eve, so go to the Gandors anyway, to which we initially hide Eve, and then she just walks out anyway. So the Daily Days didn't even really need to be involved there. I guess it gets them into the scene, but like the Runeratas still just think that the Gandors took you. Why be so convoluted? I don't understand. But there's like one or two steps too many there to get all these characters into the same scene with one another. But either way, I'm rambling. Obviously, you can see I'm still a little bit up in the air on things, and we're going to be confirming as we go through, of course. Yeah, I mean, we're back to being... I guess once we get through this session, we're going to come back to this, and then we're going to see how right we are, and then that'll be our jumping off point for the following episode. I probably should have been keeping better notes throughout this entire thing. I think that would have been preferable, but I digress. Okay, this is me coming at you after recording everything. Keep in mind that I eventually get to this knowledge point, so save the comments. This is the line that breaks everything open. This bottle is the same Grand Panacea that we both once drank. And he's just kind of here to collect it, and Miser's just here so he decides to gloat. That's the vibe. The drink is the drink. The drink is the drink. Am I making any sense? Like, it's the everything drink. If people drink the sake, drink the fucking wine, they're double immortal. They're the same level of immortality as Cortez and co. Which also opens the in for how he fucking dies. Somebody's gonna drink that swig and then suck him fucking dry. That's what's gonna happen here. So yeah, that also explains Cesla on the train. There is another immortal of equal stature. It's just Isaac. Isaac drank the stuff, I think, still. So I think it's just him. Yeah, that's my vibe. Anyway, weird. Yeah, it was the question of, okay, we need the drink. The drink's really important. It was the question of Cortez being here. I thought he was still here for Miser. He is, but just for his grudge, not to get the knowledge anymore, because he found the knowledge himself. Okay, that's my current level of understanding, sure. So, first scene here, Senator Barium meeting with Huey in prison in 1931. This is in the wake of the Flying Pussyfoot debacle. Question, how the fuck did he get to Newfoundland so quickly? Because I would have thought that he would have been set up in New York. That would have made sense to me. So I guess he's just going north a little bit. Hop on a plane. How long does it take by train to get to from Chicago to New York? Is that enough time to get on a plane and get to Newfoundland and talk with Huey? You must remember there's no mobile phones. We can't communicate with each other just off rip. Anyway, I feel like I'm overanalyzing. There's some nice contrasts with the light and the dark here, with Huey just sitting in his cell in prison. And they're playing a little bit of like footsies. Initially, again, like, Barium is like, my wife and daughter are on board. And then Huey's like, I know you don't care about that. And then he spits back, and then Huey's like, nah, there he is. There's the Barium I love. Yeah, so... You know, they're fun. They read through each other pretty well. Once again, Huey just seems very much above it all. Like, okay, call off the Lemurs. I don't need to. I already know that their plan will fail. It's like he has godlike abilities. It's like he has the premonition there. My daughter, the fanatical Shanae, if they realize that what the Lemurs is doing is not like kind of pure of heart or whatnot, right? Then, again... she will flip the switch, kind of, you know? Nothing but a false kindness is the words we use there. So yeah, Shanae's going to find that out, and then obviously things are going to go awry. I can almost ensure that happens, because I almost have like a telepathic ability with her. Or at least I'm so close to her that I'm like vision talking to her later in the episode. Yeah, and she kind of like wakes up to something here. It's almost like something flips, and then she's like, oh, I understand now. Yeah, she like immediately goes to like the top of the train and then brandishes the knife. It's like she's like, oh shit, something's going on up here, I better hop on. I do like the Shanae scene with the senator's daughter as well. I thought that was quite smart. Just again, she just saves her. We're not trying to, you know, kill everybody here. We're not trying to... I'm still going to take her in for the plan, per se, right? To free Huey. But I'm not going to hurt her or nothing. They kind of reflect each other. Again, this kind of, this parental-daughter relationship. Yeah, there's something there for sure. Now, this is something I get to praise too. I really like Cez's voice performance. There are kind of notes at which Cez kind of moves from like acting like a 10-year-old with this kind of higher pitch to a lower pitch going on when the jig is up, essentially, and he can act like himself. We must remember he is of the same, ilk as the rest of the people on board. They've been alive for 200 plus years now. He's going to have more in common with Misa and Cortez and whatnot than anybody else. So seeing that kind of break through the performance is really nice. Also, we have to analyze this scene from the lad perspective, of course, right? We see this little kid, right, that wants to use my talents to murder everybody on board for some ulterior motive. He's rewarding me with money. There's a look of smugness on his face. And again, what does lad love to do the most? Take people that think that they're above it all and think that they're safe and really see the moment that the life is going to be taken from them. Like, that is his thing. So he says looking all smug, he's like, oh, it's my thing, it's my like fetish, it's time to, go and shoot him in the face with a gun. Yeah, and again, tying that into the immortality theming of the show overall is quite a smart writing decision. Again, it's just very internally consistent with Lad, which is something I enjoy. It's interesting that says, that's funny, that he's in with the Runeradas, and this is 1931. It's kind of before the Runeradas are really even a thing in the rest of the narrative, so that's interesting. Keep that in mind, I guess. I do like the camera here, how it's constantly rotating throughout the scene, too. You can even see some character design stuff on Sez changing as his demeanor changes in the scene. Camera's also really fun here. I only just noticed this. You'll see us kind of coming back and forth between these two shots, almost like behind the barrel, This is the rail tracer's view. This is what Vino's seeing. That's great. So he's just like looking between Lad and Sez, maybe even wondering, who's the worst one here? Who's the one that deserves the die the most? And yeah, I mean, as we're contrasting kind of, again, moral stylings, codes of ethics, Vino's an interesting one to talk about. No problem killing, no problem even torturing. As long as I deem the person to my level of, judgment as morally bad, I will do the most reprehensible things to them. So I've got evidence here that says is a bad little boy. I'm going to now spend a lot of time torturing him, essentially making him die over and over again, to the point where he won't even want to come back to life again. And I still feel like the good guy in that. I still feel like it's justified. It's not like I even disagree per se. It's just an interesting question. Like, Lad treats innocence with, disdain, where Vino treats innocence like they are God. Like, if you're innocent and pure of soul, you're fine by me. Yeah, I mean, the kill on Sez there is kind of brutal, too. And yeah, last note on that scene, I really like Lad noting later that he didn't get the satisfaction that he wanted. It was almost like Sez wasn't afraid of dying, which is what he wants to see. He wants to see that moment where it's like, oh, I'm scared just before I die. Like, it's like the rug's been pulled out from under me, and I didn't get that, and that frustrates me. So correct me if I'm wrong, chat room, this practically confirms that our friend here, Inspector Gadget, is from the Daily Days, because he lets Eve go, probably on the request of Elan, and then Elan just picks up Eve off the kind of side of the road. I like he almost fucks up here with the rope, too. It comes loose, and he needs to tighten it back up, like, he got taken off guard by Eve. So this was almost one I wanted to write down as well, which is where the fuck is Dallas? But I feel like we're still just teasing that. From the tone of a lot of the conversations in the show, it seems that it's something bad. And we know that Dallas is immortal, and we know that he was with Cortez for a time, and we know that Cortez isn't here anymore, which is weird, and that, Ennis... Ennis is on our side now. So that all indicates that all went not the way we thought it did in 1930, right? Does that mean Dallas has been missing for 2 years? Probably not. Is he around in 1931? I don't think so. Anyway, how do we dispose of an immortal person and give them a fate that is really bad? Almost. I don't know. I do not know. But yeah, again, I was like, I feel like the smallest fraction is that it has something to do with immortality, but you don't really know location and whatnot. You also know that they're with the Gandors, which is the information that moves the plot, but yeah, again, we're going to find out next week. Very quickly, we're back in 1930. Again, see how we're jumping all over the place. It's really testing your knowledge here. This is the point after Ennis leaves Isaac and Miria, right? Stay with me here, where Ennis has just taken the the bodies of Dallas and whatnot back over to Cortez, and he's done the whole injection thing. But it is also before the point later where we know that Isaac gets shot. See what I mean? Where we're in a very specific point in the timeline that you have to be paying attention to know about. Their plan here is essentially, hey, let's, go rob some more criminal families. They use a stupid justification here in a moment, I'm sure. I wanted to look up who the hell Tomoe Gozen is. She's a Onamusha? Sure. But female samurai mentioned in Tale of the Heike. Okay, I know Heike's story, which is, again, similar stuff. I don't remember this character, though. It has been a long time, though. But, I mean, I guess continuing to show that Isaac and Mario are well-read and, know their history and stuff. Ennis is strong like this famous old samurai. That's fun. That's really fun. I think strong women are cool like Tomoe Gozen. Awesome. Yeah, again, the justification here is just absolute porridge, where Isaac's like, after you rob one mafia family, like we did, then the goal is to then rob a smaller mafia family with no association. Of course, the first family there being the Genoards, and then he's like, okay, let's move on to the Martillos and the Gandors. Just as a random happenstance, they decide to go to the Gandors because it's closer, and then they don't realize when they run into Dallas and his dudes again. So they don't recognize that Dallas is this gentleman, apparently. I guess they wouldn't. Why would they suspect that it would be the same guy again, I guess? It doesn't make any sense. And all this scene does here is just display Dallas to be an absolute moron, which is true. If we're going to hold this thing that Cortez wants at gunpoint until we get our money. What do you mean gunpoint? He's clearly immortal too, you doofus. Use that thing in your head. Come on now. You're not going to threaten Cortez with a gun. We see that literally play out later in this very night, where he is not threatened by a weapon like that. On Isaac and Miria, oh my god. On Isaac and Miria's behalf here, they then think that Dallas has stolen something from the Gandors and now want to follow them because they're holding box. They're holding box which must be full of money or something. And correct me if I'm wrong, now we're doing a hero show pastiche, maybe even a little bit of tokusatsu in there too, where again, this really kind of almost hyper actiony music starts playing, and he really turns up the performance, and he's got the helmet on as well. We're playing in those kind of areas a little bit. Not that it would be, again, a direct frame of reference for somebody in the 30s, but yeah, I mean, that's what he's doing, no? I think it is. Either way, the trick works and they steal the thing. I must add that the zooms there are also fantastic as well. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just wonderful stuff. I don't even understand what happens. Miria throws a grenade at him or something. Anyway, they steal the stuff. They're very successful. And yeah, this is when Ennis, who was watching Dallas to make sure they did the job correctly to get the thing, was waiting for them to come back. Follow me here. Ennis was there watching Dallas bring back thing. Isaac and Miria just pop out of nowhere with the same thing after she saw them, not an hour ago or whatnot. That must be crazy for her. She's like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they back? And once again here, jumping all over the place, we see Cez revive, because, duh, of course he's immortal. The important part here is that we see that Vino sees. So Vino now knows that Cez is immortal, and there's some weird shit going on there. Now, this is where we get a little bit fun. So, one of two things is happening. So one thing for sure that we can confirm here is that the concept of immortality is novel to Vino. Now follow me on this one, right? If the concept of immortality is novel, that means that Luck isn't immortal, or at least hasn't told Vino yet. So that either means Vino's been fucking somewhere else for a long time, and at the time we see them reunite here in, a day's time or whatever, is the first time they've met in a long time, or he doesn't know that Luck's immortal, or Luck's become immortal recently. Which, again, I'm theorizing is at the hands of Miser, right? Because, again, he has the knowledge there. Or is it at the hands of the alcohol and its only invulnerability? Because, again, like, what? What? I think it's just the alcohol, right? Anyway, yeah, it just implies that Luck is not immortal from before. He must just take a swig of the stuff in 1930. I guess what we get confusing with the show is the levels of immortality and what they can do. So, to me, there's two tiers. There is, you have both, you have one, or you have none. Well, that's three tiers, but you know what I mean. Like, there's two tiers of immortality. I believe that the name stuff works between all immortals. So if say Dallas was talking with Quartez, they would both need to use their real names, right? Even though they're both two different levels of immortality. I think it's just Isaac. I think Isaac is the immortal person that you're talking about. But see the thing here, it doesn't work with the suck power. The suck power only works for double immortal people. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I sound like a crazy person, but like that's what I think is going on. Because Dallas can't suck Quartez. That's not how that works. But can somebody that sips the red stuff instead of being injected with something else, can they suck? So, say Isaac, can he put his hand on Quartez's fucking head and then like go and suck him up? I don't think so either, but again, yet to see evidence. Back over with Eve and Elan, they go over to the Gandors, and Eve... Okay, Eve's great as a character because she's a point of contrast to all these people that are very manipulative and lie a lot, and like I guess the culture in general of mafia types. She's very pure of soul. She just wants to find her brother. She likes her brother. She wants to know if he's okay. And I guess, again, that lack of tact is very shocking to people that know the biz and know to be a little bit more discreet and stuff. And it works to disarm a lot of people. I think, again, like it immediately almost shows Eve to be no threat to them. It's like, oh, she wears her heart on her sleeve. We know exactly what she wants. We have all the power here. Cool. Let me tell you where Dallas is. I feel like I praised this earlier in the show as well. I like anchor scenes. I like scenes that place us, like... at a certain point that we're familiar. It's nice to be at a little bit of familiar ground before we adventure somewhere else. So we've seen this scene before, where Jacuzzi gives Nisa a nice little smooch there, of course. We've seen Jacuzzi and Donnie run off that way. Now it's time for Nick and Nice to go up onto the roof and see what they did whilst Jacuzzi was meeting up with Isaac and Miria and stuff. How's this for a reveal too? You and Jacuzzi have been an item for 10 years? Bro, I thought Jacuzzi was, like, 19. So I hope not. They must just both be in their 30s. Then we follow Lad for a bit. He has a bit of a whinge about Cez's demeanor and seems broadly pretty frustrated. And then sees, again, Shanae on top of the train after being, after it being called out to him, and decides that seems like some fun. Let's go do that. Where, again, it's this nice meeting of everything going on because we have Nice and the other bloke, Nick, poking their heads up. They're kind of caught between Shanae and Lad doing their thing. So, like, on opposite ends of the train, we're just poking up, having a look, and it's like, oh shit, better hide again. This is where Shanae has her fucking spirit vision, where it is unclear to me if she is literally communicating with Huey, or she is so fanatical about Huey to the point of imagining him as almost like part of her consciousness to bounce off of. It doesn't really matter here. All it confirms is that Shanae is devoted to Huey above all others and understands that the rest of the Lemurs aren't really on that same level. I gave up my voice in order to protect the knowledge I got from you. So, this seems very... This is some kind of like Faustian bargain almost. Like, hey, you're gonna get the knowledge of immortality, but you're not going to be able to use it, and you're going to lose your voice for knowing about it. I guess it's the knowledge of immortality. It's something that the knowledge I got from you. What knowledge would Huey have besides the immortality stuff? No, but he doesn't have the knowledge. He just has immortality. So what knowledge would Huey have? And it's a very interesting framing thing for me, right? Because, like, it's pretty clear to see that Quartez is a bad guy, right? Who we're obviously contrasting with here, with the whole AEST thing, as I said. But Huey seemed pretty likable, but he's still, like, really, I don't know, having a daughter and then being like, okay, you're absolutely devoted to me, and I'm also taking away your voice, and I'm also going to be like part of your consciousness. That doesn't feel great either. But it feels better. It's a really interesting kind of scale of morality in this show. I'm like, I'm unsure how to feel about the whole Shanae Huey thing. There's a fun little moment there as well where Lad just kind of looks down at Nice and Nick and is like, doesn't seem interesting. Let's go for Shanae instead. Again, he like seeks out the target that shows the least fear, almost. Like he wants the best person. He wants to take on the best almost. Like that's almost very admirable. He's very ambitious. I like that. And does this like trademark crazy person thing, like associating deep kind of almost animosity between each other as love. It's like it almost must be a declaration of love for us to meet up here and to fight like this. Well trodden ground obviously, but it fits for Lad. He sells the performance too. He does like a big old jump across the train there. Are we going to bring up the fact that she's reflecting bullets with her knife? Like, how the fuck do you do that? I guess we have Vino doing Vino stuff. So, anything's possible, I guess. You can just do, like, anime bullshit in this show, too. I do like Lad finally meeting his match a little bit here as well. I like seeing two characters that are mortal fighting this hard as well. Like, life on the line type stuff. You know, obviously the Lemurs and Lad's gang, this kind of thing that's been going on in the Flying Pussyfoot, the two almost like figurehead people there of both groups clashing on top of the train. It's just good. It's good vibes. It's good hype stuff. Very well done. And I guess by the end of that scene there, we have this guy who caught Neeson and Nick and stuff. And we don't really see where that went. I don't think we see them again. So keep in mind that they've got them by gunpoint. So they might kind of line up with the jacuzzi stuff later on. So we must remember that, okay, this is now 1932. Eve was going to hear what happened to Dallas from the Gandors, and then the Runaradas came in with weapons, and now they want to like feign that Eve isn't here. But the Runaradas are under the suspicion that they were the ones behind taking Eve from where we had her before. So when Eve walks out here, it seems that the Gondors took them, and we don't even really ever bring that up. Which that isn't the case. You're incorrect in your assumption, but it doesn't matter. Which is weird writing. Like, that's why, I mean, it's kind of convoluted. Gustavo puts a bullet in Luck Gandor's head here as well, but obviously we know, the audience, that doesn't mean anything. But I mean, more than anything, that works to confirm the head honcho Runarada guy that this immortality thing is real after seeing, like, because he's like behind the door over there, right? He like witnesses Luck come back to life, and it's like, oh, well, shit, now we kind of know what's going on here, and we know that it's bigger than that, and again, Dallas is the key for some reason too. Back with Isaac and Miria, they stole the load, they thought it was going to be a bunch of money, it was just sake, kind of, is liquor, you know what I mean. Where, again, they don't suspect that it's the most important thing in the world, priceless, better than anything money can buy. They just don't know. It's ironic. It's funny. Now, at no point here do we see Isaac ingest, but he must have at some point for the bullet to not kill him. That's my plan anyway. That's my plan of attack here. I guess a nice bit of Isaac and Miria antics here at the very end is nice to bring the episode full circle. Good bit of comedy to bring us out of, I guess, the rest of the minutia, the crazy, level of knowledge that you need to be keeping up with in this show across 3 different time periods. And I mean, once again, they are just stars. They're fantastic. I don't need to keep saying it, but they are. My favorite one here is they tell each other to act naturally and then act the most unnaturally I've ever seen any characters act in anything. Like, what are they playing Ring Around the Rosie? What are they doing? And once again, really, really fun writing, because we have a justifiable reason for Ennis to want to be here at this time as well, which also reunites her with Firo, which is another, connection. Like, that's another, bow tied, It's wonderful. Like, it feels so natural, the flow of the characters' motivations and events leading up to them meeting again, you know? And again, it's very obvious stuff we're doing with Anis. I don't need to keep saying it, but again, her growing to, like, have a personality, her growing to have friends and become more human and stuff. And Firo being a huge influence is really fun. And again, it's just getting them to meet again. Like, I'm not on anybody's side here. I just wanted to return something to you and then learn more about your story. And I mean, there's kind of like some romantic stuff going on there too. It's yeah, they all just do very well there. Full marks for sure. How about this lady? Because again, Isaac's in a compromising position here, and then the bullet happens very quickly after that. Does she get shot through the boob as well? I guess it goes through the top of her head. Maybe it clears her shoulder there. So, a few things. We hear commotion upstairs after shooting the ceremonial gun. Misa and Firo come up. We see a bullet. Okay. What do we know about trajectory here? A bullet would go, like, straight through the head, like that, right? There's no way he doesn't at least get grazed or, like, seriously injured from a bullet, either going up through the hat or down through the hat. Like, his head's there. This would imply that Isaac very quickly came back to life, and Miria was too distraught to even notice, and everyone was, like, causing a commotion, and then he's like, oh no, I'm fine. Because again, almost look where his head's facing, right? The bullet would need to go up. No? It would need to go up, for sure. It doesn't go through the side of the hat like this, right? And further on, when he's kind of being crushed against the thing, like, unless his hat's off there? Is his hat off there? Do we see the hat come off? No confirmation one way or the other. I guess it's not on there. I guess. Like, is Miria an idiot? Kinda. Would she think that Isaac's hat getting shot was Isaac getting killed? Would she? And then Isaac's not immortal yet? Because again, surely Isaac would know if he's been shot, because you still feel the pain and you still feel yourself revive, so why wouldn't he say anything? She says there's a problem with one of the customers. There wouldn't be a problem if only a hat got shot, but you're going to die. Well, he's not. He's fine. And you would have known that you were going to die and then came back. Do you see where I'm going with it? It's very hard to tell. I don't know. I feel like once again, I'm overanalyzing. I just want to know, you know? I don't know. The unconventional narrative structure is starting to wear a little bit thin. I would like to just know stuff instead of questions. So now, this seems to be in the wake of the ceremony. We have the Gandors here, and we have Isaac and Miria yucking it up, still in their costumes, obviously. So this is just after everything that happens. We're breaking bread and, you know, making good on everything. That's fine. Because again, we kind of know them from the Hatter earlier. And then again, Isaac and Miria are just cheerful. They're good to drink with, for sure. I think this whole hubbub reminds Firo of the wound that Misa had that healed very quickly. So, like... and again, Misa here says, I'll tell you, but not here. As I previously discussed as well, this is where Firo then sees Anis and wants to make good on returning the cuffling from before. And I mean, we know Firo, he hasn't lost a fight in the entire show, so he's not going to lose to Anis here and now. And again, he doesn't even want to fight, he just wants to tell her to take it easy. And we play the same soundtrack here that we played when kind of, you know, Anis was feeling it about her interactions with Isaac and Miria. You know, the goodness of people and everything. That's what she's feeling right now. She's growing as a human, and her motivations are changing. And again, us using that similar music is a really nice touch. I guess the plot pertinent information here in this scene, back on the Flying Pussyfoot now, is that Lad learns context about Shanae, about what the Lemurs are trying to do, and overhears them saying shoot them both, and learns that from this guy, from like torturing him, a lot of stuff about Shanae and immortality, and that they're going to double cross her, and a lot of stuff. This also becomes stuff that later that Vino overhears and like says, oh, is that true, Shanae? Oh, okay, then I don't want to kill you then. So it's, yeah, it's interesting how this information kind of gets disseminated through the rest of the show. Sez is intriguing too. Sez is a character that is, like, his main concept, I feel like, is fear and trepidation and wanting to play it safe and almost that kind of paranoia of anybody being able to get me at any time and take this ability away from me. Like, that's the thing that kind of drives him the most. So he's thinking about, you know, just fucking wiping his hands of the whole thing. and just jumping off the train right now. But no, he's like fear and almost curiosity and needing to know the face of the immortal, right? That may be chasing him down to suck him or whatever. You know what I mean? I need to see them before anything else, before I just, preserve my own life. And almost that greed to need to see this person and need to check who they are in case I see them again, in case, I can lower my guard around them. I need to see that person instead of preserving my own life. And that's the reason why he ends up getting tortured again and again by the rail tracer here. It's all just quite interesting to me. Also, timeline-wise, he mustn't torture Says forever and ever and ever, because eventually he stops, because eventually he starts fighting Shane and fucking Lad. So he mustn't stay here for all that much time. You see it most pronounced here, the kind of vocal change here between Says lying about his name being Thomas to his genuine shock at, Vino knowing his full name here, calling him Says Lormaya. You hear a very different intonation in the voice as he's like, how do you know that? I think that's very well done. It also reveals, again, that Says generally would like to be known as something other than Says. He doesn't want to be associated with the name and people to track him down due to that. Oh, no, I guess, okay, we do see Neeson and Nick here briefly, and they try to tell these jokers about the rail tracer, but they don't really believe them, because why would they? There's a monster in the train. How preposterous. It's very fun how we're playing, again, kind of that scene where they're like, how preposterous, like contrasted with like literally Vino grabbing Says and like rubbing him against the ground like some kind of monstrous dude. Rachel is then witness to this again. Obviously, we'll relay this to the Daily Days in due time as well. A little bit of a blood splat on the face. She's definitely scared of this fucking bloke. I would be. The rail tracer? No thank you. It all happens very quickly here because then Shane and Lad are back on top of the train. Lad reveals that he knows information. He knows the go with Huey. He knows that they're going to double cross her. He knows about the devotion angle, the adherents, as we call them. Yeah, he's up to speed now. Lad seems like the kind of guy that'd be interested in an immortality kind of thing, right? Love this face here. So then Lad starts pushing her buttons a little bit, right? Because he can read a person. He starts mentioning Huey a lot, and then mentioning that maybe Huey was the one that was double-crossing you and leading you into this situation. Are you sure that he wasn't the person that didn't have your best interests in mind? That's what causes this face on Shane. Again, such is her devotion. I feel like that's a really good demonstration of how serious she is about this kind of thing. She's been very, emotionless up to this point. We see her break after mentioning that Huey may be manipulating her. Like, that's something that she just does not agree with at all. There's also the notion of not wanting to kill civilians and not wanting to go through with the operation. You can trust folks like that the least. That's just weak. I think not wanting to, again, thinking about the collateral is weakness. Yeah, interesting. And again, these are the things that then the rail tracer then hears and is like, nah, Lad's got to go, Shane, you're fine. Again, there's almost like moral barometer to it. And yeah, Lad's interested in killing Huey. Again, Lad's thing, he wants to kill people that have they have supreme confidence and wants to see that moment where that supreme confidence is taken away from them. I obviously hear about a guy that is quote-unquote immortal. I want to find a way to now kill him because it's the ultimate kind of, the ultimate example of my fetish almost. Question of timing, question. I have a question for the class. When does the Says stuff happen then? Because he's just here now. We don't ever see the Says stuff stop. Cool, so let's break it down. Let's go back here a little bit. Cool. So, Lad finds Bro, learns information from Bro. That is immediately then cutting to Says, who sits down and we have the whole Says scene, right? Then Shane goes from here, who is down on the bottom of the train for some reason, back up to the top and finds Lad again. Lad just learned the information, just tortured the guy, blah, 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 blah. We just played through that scene. The editing there would make it seem that all of these things are happening in conjunction. So, does Says... What's the order of events? Is Says torture after this point or before this point? Does Says torture stop to start this fight, or does Says torture continue into the future? That is something that we are going to learn next week. It's something to keep in mind for next week. Because again, I feel like it'd be pretty lame for it to be like, I'm going to continue to torture Says for ages, and then he just hops up and starts fighting the people up here. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like potentially there needed to be a marking on Vino in the Says scene. Pardon me touching the mic. In the Says scene that indicated that this fight happened before that point. Does that make any sense? We need, like, him to have, like, a big gash down here or something, or, like, a color change somehow. Like, there's some paint involved or whatnot. I feel like that would elucidate things somewhat. Right off the back of that, where in 1930, we have Cortez clashing with Misa. This is the first time they've seen each other in, like, 200 years. Cortez is here for serious business, says some villainous type of stuff, kills a bunch of his friends. It's all not very good. It's where this kind of jovial energy in the previous scene kind of ends, where, the Gandors and Isaac and Miria were drinking and Firo and Misa were talking. It's where shit gets serious again. So they hear this guy's bad, they try to shoot him. Obviously it's Cortez, he doesn't die. I really like the scene here where Ennis tackles Firo to the ground and it's like, no, don't go in there. Like, again, almost like reciprocating that compassion and, like, the general... Like, I care for Firo to the point of I don't want you to just die. I don't know, you're growing a little bit. I like Annis. I do like Vino. Vino is very fun. Once again, it's the moral factor. A guy this brutal that just, like, fucking absolutely does the most brutal stuff in the show. He's crazy. Him apologizing for not understanding that Shanae was mute is very funny. Also, me not realizing that she was mute for the longest time. I just thought that she was kind of quiet. That's kind of funny too. But yeah, he's just a good guy. Sometimes, Vino. I don't know, he's a very interesting one to talk about. He's also supremely confident, starts chatting shit. No, you two keep fighting, I'll just kill the one that survives. Lad doesn't like that, hates the boasting and the confidence more than anything, so again, wants to take him out because of that. And again, Vino's just playing with him at this point. This is when Vino checks a couple of things. He must have been listening for quite a while, overheard the stuff about, you not wanting to kill anybody in the train and being against this overall, and blah, 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 blah. And again, like, he immediately then doesn't want to kill her anymore. And has a side to pick in the fight. Now understands who is good in this equation and who is bad. He would now go take out the bad guy. But it's an element of power too. It's being almost like a hypocrite, right? Only, I don't like people that want to kill innocents, but I am the one and only barometer of who is innocent and who is guilty, who is good and who is bad. I am the judger here, where it's like, who told you that you could be that? It's the same thing with the immortality stuff. Who gave you the power among everybody else to do this? But again, you've come from such a background where you didn't have that power, you attained that power yourself to be in these positions to be the judgment. Interesting. It's just interesting. I don't know. He's an interesting guy, Vino, for sure. And yeah, Vino's like saying hero shit here, that showing compassion and saving innocence and prioritizing the safety of children and a lot of stuff, right? Which is ironic considering what he's doing to Says. That's the greatest show of strength. It's you seen Superman this year? It's kind of like that. I'm strong or stronger because I'm compassionate and because I'm human and stuff. I don't know, he's kind of based here, but then in the other scenes he's just fucking torturing dudes. I don't know. Fun. Very fun. But confusing, too. I don't know where to stand on it. Also, for sure, the line about children specifically and prioritizing safety of children is in the show because of what he's doing to Says in the other scene. They know what they're doing. It's fun. Again, I know Says isn't a kid. Don't at me. It's fine. I do like this line a lot. It's a great kind of encompassing of it all, right? Leniency and compassion are things that only the strong are privileged to possess, and I am strong. That's just badass. It's a really good line. He is a super edgelord. He's kind of cringe too, but he's, yeah, fun. Very interesting here as well that Isaac and Miria are very quick to clock kind of Cortez here and that he wants the juice. Like, oh, how are we supposed to explain to these people that the blame will shift to us if we're, responsible for all these casualties, if it's, the result of our earlier actions that night. Like, they almost assume blame. I'll be interested to see where they go from here in the scene. I like one of Cortez's lines there earlier as well. Calling Miser greedy for not sharing the information of immortality is insane. Like, Cortez isn't literally the most greedy character in the show. Like, he's just a big evil hypocrite evil guy. I don't like it. Cool, so now we get into a bit of the exposition stuff. I made an imperfect version of that medicine from the information I got from Greto. Medicine that won't keep you from aging, but will make you undying. If we let the strong drink it, we who have drunk the finished product will be able to devour them without retaliation. So, my read into this is, what if we spread this out and gave this shit to everybody, right? Everybody now is, you know, obviously we sell it as, hey, it's this cure-all, you can be stabbed and you won't die, and it'll be awesome. And then we're this level above them. We're like these godlike people that can now just kill these people and absorb their knowledge. You'd become like a god. That's what would happen if everybody was immortal, like that level of immortal. I could then, anybody that disagreed with me, bye, I'm just going to absorb you. We are able to gain their knowledge and skills without any trouble on our part. And you're calling out Miser for being greedy? You're insane. He's hypocritical. We don't like Cortez. So once again, I'm calling you, begging you. What is the difference between the stuff that he injected Dallas with and the stuff that's in the bottles? The stuff that's in the liquor bottles. What is the difference there? Because why would he want... Okay, because he already has something that makes people immortal. He has a more perfect version of it? Wouldn't that be the stuff that also keeps you ageless, right? But then why would he want to hunt down Miser? Why would he even be here if he already made the formula? Also, he has Miser here by the balls. Why doesn't you just suck him there now? I don't understand. Again, well-trodden ground for me in this show, but this is the scene where Annis is also... Like, there's a third party explaining how ridiculous her circumstances are when, with kind of regards to Cortez. Like, why are you doing this? Why you... Grow a personality, damn it. Grow some free will. It's kind of what he's trying to do here, that being Firo. This is the same grand panacea that we drank. I finally succeeded in perfecting it on my own. So you're just here to retrieve it. So anybody that drinks the drink is also double immortal, I think. I don't think we get anything further here either. This is... Dallas just kind of shows up and is like, I don't like both Ennis or you, Firo, but we have the guns now. Because again, like, Ennis and Firo beat him up earlier that day. He got beat up a lot. Yeah, so, like, we're gonna... It's good writing. They're clashing again, which is fun. But again, Dallas is supremely confident as well. We're now immortal, you guys aren't. Very quick aside here with Says, before moving on to more important matters. Once again, I'm asking the question of if this is happening before or after the fight with kind of Shane and Lad. The other one here would be Vino threatening torture, and then Says implying that he's had worse torture before. And again, this is that Fermat guy. I didn't even think that he was... I didn't think it was evil like that. What happened? I don't know. Again, we're going to see more there probably. I don't know. Vino here takes that as almost like he's calling him out. I've had worse torture. Well, let me turn up the dial on the torture meter, right? It's time to torture you even harder. I forgot he literally bit his fingers off too. Vino's crazy. I don't know about all that. So again, I'm gonna torture Says super hard now as kind of the consequence of this scene. The jacuzzi stuff in this 2-episode chunk has almost felt a little bit like an afterthought. I've really forgotten about him and his heroic journey on the train. We now know that Nice and Nick have been kind of kidnapped. They've been taken in as hostages. Jacuzzi will probably progress from here to save them. That would make sense for the rest of his kind of arc on the... He basically saves the dining cart, which was always kind of under various levels of control by different groups. So he's liberated them. That's nice. What a hero. But he's also liberating them as like posing as a criminal still, which is very much in line with his stuff. He doesn't mind taking the fall for things. Ending off here, we have the scene with Don Bartolo walking into the whole thing with Gustavo in 1932 that was going on. Again, Lux just come back to life, and Don Bartolo seems interested in the immortality angle, and his offer here makes no sense to me. Like, he walks up to Luck Gandor and says, join me and we can rule the galaxy together. And, like, what's the incentive there for Luck to ever say yes? You're not immortal. I am. Why are you offering me the chance of servitude to you? What? What are you talking about? I'm immortal. I'm better than you. Either way, for reasons that will become more clear to us as time rolls on here too, Dallas is also important to you. So if you're not going to give us the stuff, then Dallas, give us Dallas then. Which we still don't accept. But, like, why do you want Dallas? Is it just for the same reason? Immortality? You want to have a look at him? And yeah, we end the episode on the question of where is Dallas, which seems to be a big sticking point that we want to continue to bring up. It may be something pretty important. I don't know. He's underwater in the opening. Help, I am underwater. Like, that's where he ends up, kind of. So, like, that would obviously not be ideal. Like, there. If he's in that kind of situation, he's pretty fucked up. So, hopefully he's not there. I don't know. That was a big old rambly session that went off on a lot of different tangents and stuff. Hopefully I ended up on somewhere near the truth by the very end. Fingers crossed. I don't know. Maybe things will become clearer next week, once again. But I feel like we went back to confusing town after we weren't very confusing for a while. So, I don't know. I didn't have as good of a grip on it as I guess I did. I don't know. Maybe I should have been taking notes the entire time. It's fine. You'll see me next week. Patreon if you want to be that 1 week ahead. Like the video, subscribe, all that other kind of stuff. And I'll see you later. Goodbye. Ciao.